resilient communities. Don't miss it live with Cliff Hughes Online this Wednesday, March 25 from the Jamaica Conference Center. Catch the live stream on our YouTube channel at Nationwide 90 FM Live 2 or keep it locked to Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Planning Institute of Jamaica.
Today, but when I see the application, then say,
folks, welcome back to another episode of the comment section. I'm Mahiri.
And I'm Shaloy.
Indeed, and if you're tuning in, it means you don't have the wrong address. You have the absolute right one. You're here exactly where you need to be. Welcome to Nationwide 90 FM, the After 7 show in which we allow you to sound off on your opinions on whatever is taking place, whether here, there, or anywhere in the comments section. And as always, we start off with public opinion, so let's take it away.
Now, our public opinion this evening comes from something that the Prime Minister said. Now, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says the decaying morals and values in Jamaica are negatively impacting the country's economic future. And he's calling on the church to help the government strengthen the country's social fabric, which he says forms part of the government's transformation agenda. So in public opinion this evening, we're asking, are you concerned by the pace of social and moral decay in society?
Well, I guess the obvious answer would be yes. Yeah?
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, who isn't? I tell you what, and we were discussing this before the show. Shallow and I were like, you know something? Any diehard listener of the comment section already knows what Shallow and I think about this topic.
Because we touched on it.
Touched on it. It's not even just recently. I swear it's been a thing that's come up more than once. Mm-hmm. We just talk about how people are just angrier than they used to be.
Yeah.
You know, people are just way more miserable than they used to be. And it's part, I think it's part of this, man.
Yeah.
I think it's part of the social and moral decay. And I love how the question doesn't even deny that it's happening. It's just talking about how much faster it's happening than it used to. Because social decay has always been a thing. All right, we can't tie it to any specific generation as persons would try to do.
Oh, they blame our generation.
You'd think we're the only
right?
bad behaving generation this world has ever seen. That's just not the case, man. You could argue the pace has gone up, but as a matter of fact, let me leave that for the persons in the comment section, no? So let's take a look at the comments like we always do. I'm gonna get them to you real quick, but if we start off on Facebook like we normally do, we will see one that says, just to start off, Dahlia Stewart says, yes, how I am. Well, hold on, we keep going on. Winston says, I'm not surprised. Too many devil worshippers in Jamaica.
Oh, wow.
Pretending to be worshipping the true God. Come Saturdays and Sundays, the country's on a lockdown because devil worshippers are all gone to church. Isn't that a laugh? It's gone rotten. Leon Ramsey says it gone rotten as well. Audley Phillips says the trends such as declining community cohesion, changes in traditional family structures, rising incivility, and a decrease in trust in institutions have no doubt resulted in an uptick in the social and moral decline. Can we talk about that for a bit? Because he mentioned a couple of things right there that I think are very interesting. All right, so
a decrease in trust in institutions.
Right, now I guess you could put that down to like persons not trusting the police or institutions that are put in place to keep persons a certain way or to prevent persons from being a certain way. One of them being, I guess, the security forces. I guess if persons don't trust, or even the government for that instance.
Yeah.
You know, we've seen persons get arrested for threatening politicians or telling lies and stuff like that. I guess.
But do you think the trust I'm trying to remember. I think JFJ had done a study recently, and they were saying that
Trust in public bodies has gone
Right.
down. Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like that's an interesting one because I don't think you can necessarily tie social and moral decay to distrust
Oh, true.
by itself. But I get what he's trying to say. But there are other things he said. Rising incivility. More on that later.
changes in traditional family structures. Yeah.
What you saying? No
I guess
father in the household? Is that what you mean? Stuff like that?
Or maybe just parenting. Because I think,
Do you think
'cause
children
I'm
being
looking
grown
back
in unstable homes?
no, not necessarily, just the style in parenting. Because I'm thinking back to me being my mother's child
Right.
versus my mother now being a grandmother.
Right.
And how she disciplines my nieces and nephews versus how she disciplined me. Me used to get beaten.
Right.
Them not get beaten. So I don't know if maybe that's what he's trying to say in terms of changes where that's concerned.
But the one that stands out to me is rising incivility. And it always goes, listen, man, Shalom and I have gone on rants about how you can't ever say good morning to people anymore without them.
Lord.
I think that's just a small example of a wider point, which is rising incivility. People, I feel like persons are too self-centered these days, and they're almost looking out for themselves to such an extent that they literally don't care about nobody else.
And again, I think we also mentioned it in a previous episode as it relates to just being in the public space.
Right.
You know, I'm handling my business, you're also doing that, but then you come on a blast
Yeah.
some derogatory music around me.
Yeah. And
So it's stuff like that.
Stuff like-
Sometimes
yeah.
it can be as simple as those.
yeah, well, we'll keep going. Maxine Soleil Riley says, most definitely it's disheartening to see, but I do hope that as a nation we find ways to redeem ourselves and to save and preserve generations now and future.
Natalie Winter says the pace of social and moral decay is alarming. We need to engage in constructive conversations to find solutions and take action to restore the fabric of our society.
Correct. And finally, Philip Jackson says, don't forget the fact that this world is powered by two forces, good and evil, since creation, and we will always encounter attributes of both. Now the question is, which one will you practice? They have consequences of reward, and we know what those are.
Over on Instagram, Noxley says, yes, Shaloy and Mahiri, and if I'm being honest, as a Jamaican born in Kingston and spend my holidays in Rosehill, Manchester, it's not just about the pace of decay, it's about the direction of the heart. This isn't just a national issue, it's a personal and communal responsibility. Social and moral doesn't start in parliament. It starts in the homes, churches, schools, and individual hearts. So, yes, this concern should push us to live differently, speak truth boldly, model integrity consistently, raise the next generation intentionally, so we can have a high pace of social and morals in our society.
You know, I've seen an interesting debate. Well, it's not even really a debate. A person just sounding off on the topic that I think there's a rise in quote unquote protect your peace culture that has kind of like gone awry. It's similar to what I was saying earlier. Persons are so obsessed with protecting their own peace that they'll just ghost people for no reason with no prior knowledge. Like they'll just start to look out for themselves to such an extent that they almost feel like they don't owe nobody nothing. I feel like that's something I think would lead to social decay. Because, how do I put it? Like, persons who, like, stop talking to people for no reason and be like, I'm just protecting my peace. I'm like, what that mean, bro? What that have to do with we? You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. I've seen so many tweets about it recently. I don't know why.
That is true. I've seen
I don't
it
know
as well.
why it's become such a thing, but I think you could argue that probably plays a role in this.
Over
as well.
on YouTube, Queen says, allowing kids to be raised by screens.
Ooh. I don't think. Well, I feel like children in the 21st century, all to some extent, have been somewhat raised by screens. I don't think it's really the screens that are the issue. It's what's on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
David Barr says, the problem with Jamaica is that they pick up the dirty American style.
They have a reason, Mahiri. Some people are toxic. I'm aware of that. I know persons protect their peace for certain reasons, but I feel as though there are other persons who are just objectively bad people that excuse that bad behavior by saying they're protecting their peace, which annoys me greatly.
Carlene Smith says, is the church the best place to seek help from?
I mean, maybe you don't need to seek help from a place in particular.
To me, should always be an option.
It should be, in theory, the best place. I mean,
but I think it goes back to what Knoxley was saying on Instagram. It doesn't necessarily have to mean the church only, but also schools and communities.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, as we're going to a break real quick, in theory, the church, based on the values it should be promoting, should be a place. So I guess, again, obviously, depending on who is in positions of power and what they may manipulate about a message, you could argue maybe it won't be communicated that way, but in theory, it should.
Yeah.
Just like in theory, we should be going to a break right now, which we will. And when we come back, we'll find out what's cooking on the socials.
Hurricane Melissa tested us, but Jamaica rises together. Visit supportjamaica.gov.jm to report damage, request help, or donate. Together, we will rebuild stronger. The time by the Office of the Prime Minister is
16 minutes after 7.
Need your garments altered? Come to Annie G's. At Annie G, we alter all male and female garments professionally. Call 876-858-7908. That's Annie G's. 876-858-7908.
Commercial spaces for you. Parks and attractions for you. Housing and residential developments for you. Beautiful rental properties for you. Improving quality of life through infrastructure development across Jamaica for you. The Urban Development Corporation, making development happen for you. Brought to you by the Urban Development Corporation.
Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, the experts at providing control and automation solutions in Kingston and Montego Bay. Visit them for all your FMC technologies, ABB, Stalin enclosures, Omron, Fluke Instruments, and other products and systems. Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, 24 Dunrobin Avenue, Kingston 10, and Shop 32, Overton Plaza, 49 Union Street, Montego Bay. Telephone 925-0590 or 969-9942.
What's Cooking is brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Limited, Jamaica's leading distributor of industrial automation and control solutions.
Welcome back to the comments section. I'm Shaloy.
And I'm Mahiri.
What's cooking, Mahiri?
All right, folks. So those of you who tuned into Cliff Hughes Online this morning already do know what's cooking. But we're going to talk about it anyways. So recently, a taxi driver was seen in a viral video hurling expletives at one of his passengers. And we are reporting this now because he has apologized, and he didn't just apologize anywhere. He apologized on Cliff Hughes Online. So obviously you're going to want the context as to what he's apologizing for, which is why we luckily queued up a video right now so that you can see the incident that led to the apology, and then you get to see the apology. So as soon as it's ready, we're going to show you. Oh, it is? All right, let's take a look.
Indisciplined taxi driver.
Don't turn it over and walk about. Because I'm not the idiot thing. Well, who is the idiot thing? I'm not driving them. With them back of guys. I'm not driving a silent man. That's why I'm not driving. Don't drive. Tell you TC play music. Show me out, you can't program me out. Show me out. Hear me. You come in here, come find problem and fault. You tell me on our phone. I'm not the vehicle. I'm driving a silence, please. So let me out. Give me my money. See your money here. Please yourself. You don't have a problem. People, see the taxi here. See the taxi and they don't drive in. See the license plate here. See the license plate here. The license plate number there. What kind of vehicle is someone that drive with a bag of nice people that you can't tell me to turn on the music?
Right. So, you know what that looks like to me?
Moral decay.
Rising incivility, social and moral decay, right there in full force, which is why I said when we were discussing public opinion, more on that later. Anyways, as one can imagine, Jamaicans didn't take too kindly to the way this man was acting in the video, and as a result,
it's not new though.
Of course it's not. He's just the one that got caught.
Yeah.
Right?
From young high school.
Yeah,
Just
as a matter of fact, let's talk about that before we even get to the apology for a bit, man. Forget the thing that caused the argument. Let's just talk about the argument itself, because there's a certain entitlement. I'm going to use taxi drivers as an example, but I'm sure there are a lot of other Jamaicans this can pertain to, where persons will blatantly do the wrong thing and then get mad at other people who did the right thing for doing the right thing. I see it all the time. I see it when I'm taking a bus. So there we go, man. Oh my goodness, man. Don't even get me started. There really isn't enough time in this show for real. Because when I'm waiting on a JUTC, there will be such a blatantly obvious line. And people and it's not picnic I'm talking about. Grown adults will still find a way for bore.
And sometimes the bus empty. Like you will get a seat.
No, some of them come too late for real, but that's not the point of them problem. That's for them fault. You get me? But it's just like, that's just a perfect example. But even taxi drivers, I can't tell you how many taxi drivers I've seen in my time. This can't even be a parish thing. In general, bad drive somebody and then get mad at the person when not bad drive them because them never get a blind. I'm like, how do you expect a normal driver to react to the abnormal driving you just did? You break road code, you break road rules, and then when you don't get a blind,
wrong
them fault.
and strong.
And they're not just mad, they're mad and loud about it. Cause all kind of bad word. And I'm like, sir. Yes.
But we do have his apology, so let's just...
Right, but that was then, folks. This is now. Let's take a look at the man, Christopher Morgan, yes? Called into Cliff Online.
I should have done that really and truly, but I did try to please the customer. I did turn it down. I did take off all the base. So I shouldn't have any more them in this language. Sorry about that. I did try to please him at first. Understand?
Well, Mr. Morgan, I gather this has gone viral. Yes? And the fact that you called me, don't you think you should speak to the people of Jamaica and try to make good with them for your behavior?
Yes, sir.
Well, go ahead, speak to them.
Jamaica, I'm sorry for my behavior the other day towards my customers. I not normal behave like that, and it won't happen again, because I respect my customers. And I'm sorry for what I did.
Growth.
Yeah, well, for now.
I apologize for that. I should have...
You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope this leads to a behavioral shift. But this is just one drop in the bucket, isn't it, Shallow?
Indeed.
Well, let's see what the comments say. Some adults are not as well behaved as children.
News commentator says he apologized because it was aired.
And you see, that's always the problem, man. You see, when it comes to oversight, people don't really change their behavior unless they're caught.
Yeah.
It's like when you speeding. People not gonna stop speeding until they catch them and give them a 10 grand ticket.
And even then. So hopefully, if he's listening, Christopher Morgan, hopefully you've turned over a new leaf. Granted, you said it's not the normal you, So what is it? Catch you on a bad day. But yeah, man. Oh dear. But yeah, I think this is one of the times where we did a pub up and a what's cooking that tied into one another. Yeah.
Because we were talking about social and moral decay, and we had a perfect example of it taking place and someone actually apologizing for it, which is quite nice to see. And honestly, something before we go to the break? Apologies. I feel like that's something that certain people think is above them, man.
True.
I feel like people underestimate how far an apology can go. Some people do you wrong and they just try to move on. It's like, no, man. The only real closure can come from you admitting you did something wrong and apologizing for it. That's the easiest way to get back on good terms with anybody, man. But
Go ahead.
I feel like certain people just think they're above apologizing.
And then those same people too, when they are forced to apologize, it's almost like I say, you don't want to give me.
Right.
You know?
You know as a good example of an apology?
They say everything else except I'm sorry.
Yeah. Y'all need to go to the Alfred Dawes School of Proper Apologies.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to take a quick break and then we're going to choose our comment of the day.
What's Cooking was brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Limited, Jamaica's leading distributor of industrial automation and control solutions.
The heart of Jamaica moves to a beat. This year, it's the same heartbeat of community, guiding hands with the sound of resilience. To rebuild, that same slice is now wrapped in a different story for a community in need. Tasty cheese, tasty beat of Jamaica.
Buy tasty cheese today in store. Help rebuild Jamaica.
If you love the vibes, the laughs, and the real talk, then you're one of us. Don't just listen, belong. Join the nationwide 90 FM Family Club on Patreon.
We're back. We're winding down here on the comment section. It's time for the comment of the day segment. Shaloi, what's yours?
Mine is from Noxley on Instagram. Noxley says it's not just, and it's back to the public opinion, it's not just about the pace of decay. It's about the direction of the heart. This isn't just a national issue. It's a personal and communal responsibility. Social and moral doesn't start in parliament. It starts in the homes, the churches, the schools, and individual hearts.
Love that, man. And so I guess my comment of the day is going to be completely unrelated to all of this. There's a person in the comments, KLJC DFBZ8867, that says, love the growth, Rasta, and thank you. Thank you so much for that. You see, comments of the day doesn't have to be deep, you know. It really doesn't. But yeah, man, honestly, I'm seeing some comments right now that almost make me wish we had some more time, because J.A. Queen Dama would blame the taxi man. What about the TikToker who bait up the man to make money? I don't think it's that serious, man. I don't think it's that serious, because at the end of the day, if the man apologized and the man who was filming had a request to the taxi man that wasn't being met, and that's what started the argument, then no, I don't think the man was gassed up or rage baited, as we young people would say. I think is, he was just wrong, man. And this is what I'm talking about, and I think above apology. But not above apology. If you do something wrong, say you're sorry. It's as simple as that, and that's what happened here, man. No need to go back. Irrespective of his motive, the driver apologizing is always a good. There's comment of the day right there. Go on, Miss Chin One. Irrespective of his motive, the driver apologized, and that's always a good thing. That's, and it was a good apology. It was a good apology. That's
and he
how
wasn't forced. He called in. So. Yeah.
He didn't have to do any of that.
He went to the Alfred Dawes School of Apology.
The Dr. Alfred Dawes School of Apologizing Sincerely. Yeah. Love that, man. All right, folks. There we go. What's this? I sound like a lawyer? No. Ooh. Well, maybe,
Attorney at law.
My mom always said I should do law. I was like, Mommy, no. It sounds hard. But thank you all, as always, for tuning into comments. I almost said public opinion, man. That's a bygone era. Mahiri. Thank you all for tuning into comment section. I'm Mahiri.
And I'm Shaloi.
Thank you to our producer, Sonia Stewart, our technical engineer, Andrew Glenn Anderson, and our video editor, Demar. Taking us out is Itana. See you tomorrow.
Job today, but when I see the application and say, if this is where you really reside, please step outside. She asked them why, and they replied, don't want no trouble. We don't want no trouble, no day.
Gee, you know say Mikey no come? Hold on. No, sir. That sound like consumption.